Well, thank you guys for joining. My name is Gilberto. I am the director of the Greater North Texas Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and today I have Tom Vylyes here. He is the correct me if I'm wrong. Title?
I'm the Environmental Health Manager for the town of Flower Mound.
All right, it's a mouthful, so I couldn't remember it. For the town of Flower Mound, we always have a Cinco de Mayo event that happens in Flower Mound, and we've had it for the past 3 years. And we have a ton of food vendors. We have games for the kids. We have entertainment. So it's always fun for the family. And it is a fundraising event for our organization. Our organization focuses on providing educational material for business owners, connecting them to resources in the area. They'll be able to help develop them and foster growth. And today we'll talk about vendors and food trucks in the at their Cinco de Mayo event. So I wanted to kind of get started on food trucks, if that's okay, Tom. And I know several years we've had the food trucks at the event. How if I'm a new food truck and I want to join the event, what is the first thing that I need to do?
Reach out to me, and I can give my contact information at the end of this, or reach out to Gilberto and he has my contact information. And it's really pretty simple. It's a simple permit application. Permit fees did go up this year, $10. So it's $50 for a temporary food permit for a food truck. So there's two aspects to a food truck. If you're actually cooking on the truck and you haven't already, you also do need to obtain a fire permit from the fire department. That is a completely separate thing that is scheduled through the fire department. We do on-site inspections. The fire department does not. You will need to schedule in advance with the fire department to bring your truck. They will do an inspection, and then that permit and sticker is good for a year. The biggest thing that they are looking for is, do you have a fire suppression system on your truck, and has that been professionally inspected? If you've got a fryer or something along those lines on your truck, then you are required to have a fire suppression system, and that system has to be professionally inspected once a year. But the permitting process through us is really pretty easy. You'll complete the permit ahead of time, please not the night before, and you'll pay the $50, and then we will inspect the truck at the event.
Okay. Now at the event, so they should have already scheduled with you to get the food permit, and then they should have scheduled with the fire department. How do you know how early they should do the inspection with the fire department? Probably as soon as possible, I'm sure. But
it really is. Like I said, that permit is good for a year. So if you know that you're going to go out there this year, do not wait to the last minute, because that's, you could miss your spot, and if fire department, if you don't have it done, you won't be able to get a permit from me, because that's one of the things that I asked for, is to see that fire inspection. The fire actually turns priority.
okay.
So yeah, as soon as possible. I really wouldn't even wait till May. I get it done this month if you know you're going to be out there.
Okay. So at least a month in advance. And then as far as the pricing for the fire permit, do you know on average how much that costs? Or?
I actually don't know how much that permit is.
Okay. And that's something that we can find out. As far as the professionally inspected fire suppression system, does the city have a resource that we can go to for something like that? Or
we can typically recommend a list of companies. We cannot recommend a specific company.
Okay. That would be great if we could have that list, and that way I'll make sure that everyone has people that they can reach out to.
Yeah, that you'd have to ask the fire department for that list.
Okay, we'll ask them for the list. And then once they're set up, I know Parker Square has electrical outlets. Anything we need to be aware around that, or as long as they're working, or
As long as they're working, that's a little outside of my realm of knowledge.
Mhm.
Yeah, as long as everything's working, as long as everything's running, naturally one of the two big things that we're looking for on the trucks is all your cold hold and hot hold systems working? Is the food that needs to be cold, is it cold? Is the food that needs to be hot, is it hot? And then all your waste retention, making sure it's all capped off and sealed off and not leaking.
Okay, so no leaks. Okay. And as far as making sure that everything is clean, so the food trucks should have a way for them to wash hands, obviously.
Yes.
What else am I missing? Gloves.
Yeah, it's washing hands, plenty of utensils, soap, paper towels. If you're looking to barehand food, or not barehand, handle foods with your hands, gloves. We prefer utensils, and then having sanitizer for your 3-compartment sink, thermometers. Really, pretty much your basic food prep.
Okay, sounds good. So this is food trucks. Anything that you've seen as best practices that helps food trucks sometimes?
A lot of it is just being sure it's clean, good
Mhm.
appearance. You look inviting, and that's really going to be the biggest parts.
The biggest parts. Okay, well, sounds good. I think we have most of what I need, but I do know we have some people on the call. If you're on the call, is there anything, any questions, concerns as far as food trucks go? All right, I take silence as a no. So, what about vendors? So I know we've had vendors in the past, and they don't necessarily have um, a food truck. They may be cooking some food. So what would they need?
Um, so when we were talking about this, you had mentioned cottage food. So I'd like to talk about cottage food here for a second.
Okay.
Um, Cottage food vendors are allowed. Cottage food vendors are not required to get a permit. I would encourage you to reach out to me anyway. Let me know what you're cooking. If the big thing, the two big things that we're looking at on cottage food is, one, what are you making? Because there's a very well defined list of what you can and cannot make at home.
Mhm.
And then if you're going to package the food, there's very set labeling requirements. I can give you a website resource for where to find that labeling requirements, but that's the other thing that we look for is is your food properly labeled? We do more education. We're not looking to kick anybody out, but we do expect people to do it right, especially if they're going to be doing it from home. So the website has the list of foods, kind of the nutshell of it. Almost as long as the food doesn't have to be refrigerated, it's
Mhm.
probably okay. So cakes and cookies and foods along those lines. No flan. Flan is a custard-based product. It has to be refrigerated. That's not something that you can make at home.
Mhm.
Um, and then for your pop-up tent type vendor, again, it's a $50 temporary food permit, and then inside that permit application is actually going to be our requirements. As long as you're reading through that and following it really pretty much to the letter, you'll be good with us. But it really comes down to running water for some form of a hand wash station. You do need to capture your wastewater, not just letting it run out on the ground and make a big muddy puddle or big wet spot on the concrete. A 3-basin wash station for soapy water to wash, clean water to rinse, and then clean water with a 2 or 3 drops of bleach in it to sanitize. And then again, fire department is going to have some say on are they going to allow an open flame underneath a pop-up tent, or how's the food being cooked if you're actually cooking food out there. Big flat grills always work. I see quite a few of those. And then just, say if you wanted to do chicken and beef fajitas on a flat grill, that's fine. Your meat's going to need to be in a ice chest and be kept cold, be keeping it on ice. And then, you can cook some in advance and then cook it to order as you need to. Your chopping stations for your meat and your fajita toppings, and then being sure food is properly covered, and you've got a way for customers to dispense food if you're, say, if you've got a crema or something like that to put over your fajitas. The squirt bottles work absolutely fabulously.
Okay, that's very good to know. And so the flat grills, if you do have a flat grill, you still have to get your permit, right? From the permit and inspection from the fire department.
So they're gonna, if somebody says, hey, I want to have a flat grill out, I can check with fire department and see what kind of rules, but that's not going to require a permit from them. The only permit that they're going to have is on the fire suppression systems on the hot trucks.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. And then as far as the washing, the hand washing and the 3-basin wash stations, I know at the park itself, I don't know if there's running water as far as like faucets and stuff, so they would have to bring like bowls, or I guess something.
Yeah, they need to plan on bringing their own water, bring a couple of jugs of water. You can go to the dollar store and get some tubs, some small tubs to capture water and for your wash bins, for your 3 compartment wash bin station. It's really pretty easy to set up. I do like the blue jugs with the twist spigot to wash hands. That way you can set a small stream to wash your hands. Wash your hands good, and then we don't require a hand sanitizer. It's always a good idea as long as they're washing hands first and then sanitizing.
Okay. Sounds good. And then as far as the type of tent, I've heard sometimes that you have to have a certain type of tent, but I wasn't too sure. There might be some cities. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's going to be a fire department regulation, and that'll also be in your special event packet. I see you've already applied for your special event permit. That will be in your special event packet. That's those regulations I'm not familiar with.
Okay.
There's a size limit is what it is. I don't know that it's a specific type, but there is a size limit. I do know that.
Okay, so a size limit there, and so we'll make sure to look at that and kind of print out a sheet for all of our vendors or help them out with that. I didn't know about the label requirements. That's pretty interesting, and that makes sense too. That makes sense to have that as well. Any best practices that you would think where vendors do really well? Is it similar to food trucks? Just make sure organize, clean, maintain.
Very much so. Very much so. As long as you're organized and you at least look like you know what you're doing, uh, it's the more kind of the you don't want so many people you're tripping over each other, but you don't want just one or two people trying to do it all.
Right.
Some of the more common complaints that I get is people start handling money and then they start handling food. You need one person who can be dedicated to on the cash receipt side, and then one person, one or two people who are doing the food side. Um, and then not making a mess, keeping trash picked up. If there's a way to put a trash bag or something like that on one of the posts of your pop-up, that's always nice. um, for the cottage food, naturally making your labels pretty. Everybody likes a pretty label.
Hmm.
And then part of that labeling is allergens. And it's if there's peanuts or tree nuts or something like that, let people know about it. And those are two of the bigger allergens that people, there's a whole list of them, but those are definitely two of the bigger ones.
Okay. Awesome. Well, that sounds good. Now, I know we've been asked in the past, we didn't serve alcohol at these events, but in case there's somebody that says, hey, I want to do it, what do they need to know?
So that's a conversation between the town secretary's office and PD.
Okay.
PD is pretty much going to be the ones that are going to regulate the alcohol sales. That would be something that you'd put in your special event application. Hey, we're thinking about doing alcohol sales, and
Okay.
then you'll be in touch with the police officer who can answer those questions.
Sounds good. It probably is different from city to city, I'm assuming.
Somewhat. Somewhat.
Mm.
There's yeah, I don't know all the TABC rules that get involved in that, especially with uh, some of the restaurants that are out there that have
Mhm.
alcohol sales, and they start having to be careful because they may or may not have an off-premise consumption permit.
Mhm.
So that's I truly I get into more trouble if I started trying to answer those questions.
No worries. Well, we have an idea on where to go. So,
Yeah,
town secretary office and PD for
yeah,
alcohol consumption.
yeah.
So we'll check with them on that. And then, um, I mean, it looks like everything is pretty standard. It looks like the information is already out there. We just have to dissect it a little bit and make sure that people understand it. I have one more participant that joined the call. I'll open it up to any questions that you guys had, anything that you've seen in the past that may be helpful for future vendors.
I see there's a couple people that are muted, so if you're talking, be sure you're not muted.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good.
Good.
Yeah.
I think you pretty much asked all the questions and answered all of the questions as well. I think it was pretty straightforward, so
Good.
Yeah.
we're good to go.
All right. Thank you. And Julia is our education chair. So I know that they were gonna try to put a lot of information together in Spanish, Tom, and
Okay.
just to make sure that they have that information. And then if anything, we'll reach out. Is there I guess the website to the city is the best resource for a lot of these things. Any other website that you would recommend, or is that pretty much the go-to?
So website the town website. You've got my email.
Mhm.
They can reach out to you from my email.
Okay.
And then for cottage food, the website that I typically steer everybody to, it's kind of long, but it makes sense. It's
Okay.
texascottagefoodlaw.com.
Okay. Foodlaw.com. Got it. It is a long name, but that's okay.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I did have a question. Do you have this information in Spanish on the website
No, I
or
don't.
no? Okay. Well, we'll make sure to, put everything in.
Okay.
Wow. So thank you very much, Tom.
You're welcome,
Yeah.
Lilia.
All right. Well, I guess that pretty much sums it up. Thank you very much, Tom, for taking the time and doing this. And we appreciate everything that you've done in the past 2 years. And so we're looking forward to another great event, and we'll talk again soon.
Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Hope you have a good one.